Hey everybody, here we are at the Comic-Con Revolution in Ontario, he says as he looks up to read the full title correctly, and hang out with the guys from Kissed Alive. If you're a fan of the Bladtcast, and who isn't, you know Jason, you've probably heard him at least once before. The cat.
Hello.
And we have Vinny the Star Child.
Hey, how we doing?
And we have the new demon, who is Phil.
Hello.
And of course, you just told me your name. Dave. It was such a hard name to remember, Dave.
No, that's all right. What's happening?
Thank you. I was like, I got 50% of the names right. Well, I had 75%, but I was cheating. I was cheating because I knew your names already.
There's going to be no math questions.
There's no math. That's true, and I guess I lied when I said that. Anyway, so here you guys are hanging out. When you guys do a convention appearance like this, what are some of the most common things? Is it people just want pictures, or do they really want to dive into talking about the band? They want to talk about Kiss?
A lot of it is pictures, like all day long, taking pictures. And what's funny is some of the parents, because you can tell who grew up on listening to Kiss music and stuff like that, because some of the kids are petrified. Oh, little Johnny, do you want to take a little picture? No, come on, and they're like pushing them forward. It's like, oh boy, But no, we have a lot of fun. I mean, looking at all the different costumes and stuff, and all the effort people put into coming here, it's amazing. And it's kind of like our people, They like to dress up in costume. They like bands that dress up in costume, and we got all that.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity for Kiss. And, you're talking about kids being scared of Kiss. I've told this story before, but my earliest memory of Kiss is they were on 3-2-1 Contact on PBS, and it was all about lighting and the stage setup, and I was terrified, especially of the demon, because rightly so, because, you don't get as scared of the Catman. Yeah, everybody loves the Catman.
Scratch their eyes out.
Everyone loves the Catman.
As they should.
Yeah, but does anybody, when they come up to get pictures, are they playing favorites and do they say, oh, hey, Star Child, can you take the picture? Because I just want the other guys.
Well, when it comes to this lineup, I'm probably fourth.
These two right here.
I get the last picture, right?
I'm here to tell you that's not true, okay? These two right here on my left and right, okay? Phil and Vinny over here, okay? They get the most, especially Phil.
Yeah,
and he's
Phil.
the new guy in the band.
He gets the most attention.
Stand there and do this.
Yeah. But yeah, they're our favorites. Yeah. Sure.
Now, you were telling me an interesting story before. If you'd like to tell on the record how you ended up with Phil in the band?
Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of proud of that. Well, we're based out of Southern California, and we've been doing this for about 5-6 years now, and we've been fortunate enough to really luck into a lot of cool situations that that were only presented to us because we were hanging in this band, places we've played, things we've gotten to do, and so I take it very seriously, kind of. I like it, and I want to keep doing it. So when somebody comes on the radar, I notice. It's business. So. My buddy Phil here was in a band, and I noticed them, and they were called Dress to Kill San Diego, and they were a Kiss tribute band doing, the Dress to Kill era. They had the suits on and stuff. Well, a couple of them were, and a couple of them just didn't commit enough, but that's, I digress. But they were okay, bless their hearts, right? So, I had to do something about it, though, because they were in my home ground, so I kept borrowing their guys. I borrowed their guitar player, and I borrowed their bass player, and then I kept borrowing their bass player till he just didn't want to leave, and there goes that band. So now that's one less Kiss tribute band I got to worry about.
Well, and there's quite a few. We've had actually people from other Kiss tribute bands on this show, and it's like a regional thing.
Yes.
And I'm surprised that at KissOnline.com Central, Gene and Paul don't carve out the country and take a little piece off the top. But I guess
that would be a good business idea for them.
Well, because they need to make more money. And honestly,
well, I'm worried about them. They might not. Times are tough.
Especially Gene, because you feel like he hasn't figured out a way to monetize the brand, and at some point he could use some pointers.
You'd think that. Yeah, I mean, I could give him advice.
Yeah.
I have one word for Gene, and that word is franchise. Let's talk.
There it is.
Well, they talk a lot about how they would do the band. They look. People already point out there's two guys in the band who aren't the originals, and they talk about doing it without Gene and Paul. Mm-hmm. So the idea would be some like officially, franchised.
Absolutely.
Kiss tribute band. And I think, look, those plans are probably somewhere in one of Gene Simmons' many vaults, not the vaults that he's giving away, that he's selling for $2,000 right now. Right. Not those vaults. Right. So I feel like
Bladtcast would be playing drums.
Hey, look, if Bobby Blotzer can get the cat makeup on, why not? You know, right. The other guys don't want him. So, my question is, if it turned into something where it's like, look, this is going to have to become a business, there has to be some kind of understanding. Do you guys, and I'll start with you, Dave. Do you guys become less interested in it if all of a sudden it's like you got to go through Kiss and you got to give them a cut and it becomes less of what it is now?
It's definitely going to be a lot more hurdles to jump. We'd have to pay more attention to what we put out, what we print, what we say. We have to practice. We'd have to practice because we can't just wing it anymore. I think if they decide to step in, it definitely probably hinder the process.
Yeah, and do you think that Phil? Do you think that Gene would approve of your Gene?
I certainly hope so. Give it my best.
He would probably look at you and say you're a very handsome man, because that's usually, anybody who looks just like him. That's it. Yeah, he's you're a powerful and attractive man. I had it wrong.
Pay Gene Simmons $5 for that phrase.
Right. Trademark.
You know what, though? Bring it on. Bring it on, because a percentage of something that you would get as an officially sanctioned Kiss tribute band is more than any Kiss tribute band would make without that official stamp or seal of approval. So I would jump through any hoop they want us to jump through. Because obviously they would have quality control, they'd help you improve, and who doesn't want to just put on a really kick-ass show? That's why we do this. We're having fun, we're enjoying it, we're not going to get famous. I mean, we're in a tribute band to a band that plays in makeup, so nobody really even is going to know too much about what we look like unless they go to our Facebook page or something. So I think that, it'd be a lot of fun. The crowds would be bigger, and the show would be better. We'd probably have cooler toys, so yeah, I'd be up for that in a heartbeat.
Especially if it was something we could quit the day job for.
Yeah. There you go.
How that works out for you.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that this is a very important piece of American rock and roll history.
Amen.
And it's so important that we preserve this the way it is, because everyone loves this music no matter what age they're at. Wherever they're at, if they're older or younger, it appeals to all audiences, and it's very important to keep this legacy going. So I would invite any of that to be part of that. I mean, franchise is the word. I mean, for them, I think that would be a smart business move for them, and I would definitely invite that conversation. So.
Right, and look, they understand franchising. I mean, they've got their restaurants, the Rock and Brews restaurants. So
one of those was fun, a lot of fun. Sam and Well, yeah, a lot of fun.
One of the things that we were talking about earlier is when you're at a Comic Con of any kind, you attract a lot of nerds, and I say that not as an insult, as a proud nerd myself.
Nerd right here.
Right, and when you're in deep on anything and you're like a super fan of comics or TV or anything, you're probably also that way about music. So what I was noticing just in the first couple minutes I was around, you had people who are asking you guys to do obscure Kiss songs. So if somebody was saying like, how about something from The Elder? And then another guy added that he wanted to hear A World Without Heroes. So the question is, Phil, would you be able to do A World Without Heroes right now? Not for me, for the camera, but if the occasion called for it, would you be able to do that?
Right now, this very second?
Well, it doesn't have to be this second.
Yeah, I would have to sit down and listen to it once or twice just to make sure I had everything square.
Right, because that's the thing too, is you want to make sure you get it right. Exactly. Yeah. And now
you can't shake him. You can't rattle that guy.
But what if now, Dave? What if somebody wanted you to do some Ace Frehley solo stuff?
Yep, I'd probably have to go home and do homework on that one for sure.
But that's all right, because the majority of people who want to see a Kiss tribute band, they're going to want to hear, I mean, look, when they did I think it was the farewell tour, which wasn't really the farewell tour, there was the 17 songs carefully curated. It was like, no, we're going to play this every night because this is what people want. Do you ever mix it up a little bit with something that's not A World Without Heroes, but maybe it's okay, not everybody in the room is going to know it, but the people who do know it are going to be so excited?
Absolutely, yeah. We like to, because we're fans of the band ourselves. That's why we do it. So and we like the whole catalog. We play stuff. I like to tell people we play stuff from all eras of the band. You know, we play stuff from the first album all the way through to the newer stuff. You know, with Tommy and everything. We've played like Psycho Circus, for example, opens up every show we play. I know that's not a deep cut, but like we'll reach back and do some earlier stuff. You know, Come On and Love Me doesn't always show up in the sets. You know, what's the other one we were just talking? A War Machine. We just added in from the Eric Carr era. God, I love that drummer.
Yeah.
God, rest in peace, Eric Carr, man. I love playing that. You know, so I don't know. We've had a lot of fun. We dig in. You know, we like to dig in deep every now and then. Sure.
Well, interesting that you mentioned Eric Carr, because next thing I was going to ask you about is, you know, anybody who follows on Facebook knows that you had a health concern not that long ago. It looks like you're doing great now. But to sort of ease the load a little bit, you actually had an Eric Carr with you not that long ago. Talk a little bit about how that came about and how it went.
Well, you know, like you mentioned, you know, I've had a little health, you know, issues over the years with my heart, and on August 4th of last year, I had a heart attack while I was on stage on my birthday. My folks were in the audience too, but you know, I pulled through it, and we went back and played again. We were scheduled to play there a month and a half after that happened, and I made a promise to everybody there that I would play again, and we would return and finish the show. But I got a real good buddy of mine. His name is Scott McDowell. He plays in a really great Bruce Springsteen tribute called Thunder Road, and then a country band called United Country. They're like a country cover band, you know, kind of thing, and they're awesome. And he's a great drummer, real good friend of mine. And so I asked him if he would be interested in dressing up like Eric Carr, one of the other Kiss drummers, and the guy that replaced Peter Criss, of course. And I asked him if he would come down and play, you know, and give me a couple songs, give me a little break in the middle, just in case, because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I wanted to, you know, I make sure we did a real good show. I don't want to give anything bad, and I don't want to be keeling over. I just didn't know, you know. So I said, well, come on out. And besides, it's going to give, you know, as a Kiss fan, if I was at a tribute show, that'd be great. That'd be a lot of fun. Like if I was at a Van Halen tribute band show, and their normal thing was Dave, right? I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this by the Dave or the, you know, the Dave or the Grave crowd, but you know, if I saw somebody dressed like Sammy come out and do a couple songs, I would like that, you know. I would like that when bands have other things and they throw it in the mix. So he came down, he did a couple of shows, and it was a lot of fun. So, you know, and I can tell you that on July 3rd, we're going to be at the San Diego Fair, 6 o'clock on the Coors Light stage, and he's going to come and do it again, is the rumor. So I think you're going to see Eric Carr at our next San Diego show.
Now, what would it take to get an Ankh Warrior Vinnie Vincent on stage with you?
You know what? That has happened.
It has.
That has happened. One time. Were you there?
I don't think I was. I was only at the same
It was
rock
in
show.
Las Vegas. It was a marathon about 4 years ago. And we had a really good celebrity impersonator out in Vegas. He's a really good friend of mine. His name is Rob Valentine. Check him out. And his wife, too, Janet Valentine. They're great. Anything you need. The whole, like the Marilyn, the Alice Cooper, all that stuff, right? And the guy makes suits of armor for his day job. Like in his backyard. He's hammering these things out. And like you can see his work in the night at the museum, things like that. So I wanted him to come out and have fun when we were going to be in his neighborhood. But he usually does Paul Stanley, but we got Mr. High Note over here, and that position was filled. So I said, well, get a guitar and do he also builds costumes too. So I said, put together a Vinnie Vincent costume and come down. And so we did. And I would do that in a heartbeat. Rob, where are you? Get your Vinnie Vincent costume out. We want you to come out and play with us again. So I love it. Rob Valentine rocks.
November, you'll be in Vegas?
Yes. Second weekend in November, we will be performing for the 7th or the 6th. 6th year in a row, outdoors on the Las Vegas Strip. Yeah.
And all this stuff can be found at kissalive.com?
Yes, kissalive.com, because as my friend Vinny will tell you, you're not truly alive until you've been what?
Kissed alive!
Couple more questions, real quick. Now, you were talking about Vinny hitting the high notes. Have you at any point, maybe when the band was starting, or do you now keep up with, do you listen to Paul Stanley actual stage banter to try and throw it in? You know, just a lot of the, you know, we got to, you know, it could be a rock and roll party tonight, you know, all that stuff.
You gotta have that stuff in there. That's important piece of what they're doing and what has lived on is all that banter. That banter is like, it's golden. I mean, that's got to go in there. That's part of the show.
It's almost like if it's not there, it's like they didn't play. Maybe not Rock and Roll All Night, but it's like they didn't play Shout It Out Loud. You know, it's like, no, you got to get it in there.
You got to get that stuff in there, because then people, it strikes a nerve in people's core, and they know what's coming, and they expect that stuff. You got to throw that stuff in there, because the crowd wants to. Yeah, they want a show. They don't want just the songs. They want the show, and the verbiage to introduce the song is part of the show.
Sorry, what were you saying, Phil?
It's part of the whole thing. It's part of the whole show. It's just another component of what Kiss did, and kind of what we try to do when we're up there playing. So, and Vinny does a pretty good job.
Want to have a question for each of you, starting with Dave. What is, whether you guys do it regularly or not, what's your favorite Ace Frehley song?
Actually, we do it. It's Parasite. To me, that's probably the hardest song that we play. So that's my most favorite song that we play. And plus, for me, it gives me all of the elements that I want for a rock and roll song. And as far as any kind of breakdowns that you have in the middle, the structure of the song is really good. And plus, when you're done listening to it and when you're done playing it, you should be tired. And if I'm tired, then I know that I did it right. So I really love that song, yeah.
Similar question for you, Phil. What's your favorite Gene Simmons song?
Probably got to be Deuce. Deuce. Probably second song on Kiss Alive. So
They should change the name of the live albums to Kissed Alive.
I agree. But Deuce, I absolutely love that song. That was probably the first song that I listened to that made my ears totally stand up and going, I need to listen to these guys a lot more. So
Jason, is it Beth, or is there another deeper Peter cut that's your favorite?
Black Diamond. I play it at every show, and I never get tired of it. It's so heavy metal, and it's rad. It's not like a simple song either. People, they give Kiss a lot of flack for being like caveman songwriters and stuff, and I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. You listen to a song like Black Diamond, and it's every bit as interesting musically and structurally as like some of the more progressive, let's say Metallica stuff. Some of the more progressive stuff they do. It's got different, sections, different times. I love it, and it's heavy, and I love it, and I get to sing it every night too. I mean, I don't sing it like Peter does, but I do what I can. But I just love playing the drums to that song.
Yeah, I mean, I've never talked to him about this, but you feel like when Eric Singer obviously does it now, but you just feel like, look, he's great the whole night, but you feel like there's this extra adrenaline flowing through him when he gets to sing that song, because in the way the Kiss does shows now, like he'll do Beth at like the meet and greets beforehand, but he doesn't really do a lot. It's not like he does Hard Luck Woman or anything. So you feel like there's definitely something about that song that's another one that if they didn't do it, you'd be like, oh, come on, where's Black Diamond? I know it's long, but...
it's funny that you mention Hard Luck Woman, because we flirted around with doing acoustic versions of Beth, like they do at the Unplug, and so that led into, well, let's do Hard Luck. And so we did it about maybe 3 or 4 shows. It's real rare for us, acoustically. Everybody in acoustic, we're all sitting down doing it. It was really pretty cool. I think we might have done it at my Heart Attack show. I think so. Everybody was sitting, Hard Luck Woman. Yeah, and but today we, like for the first time in probably about 6 months, or yesterday, excuse me, they wanted it, and the show was over. So I sat down on the edge of the stage with my microphone, and me and about 2 or 3 dozen people just kind of huddled around the front of the stage, and we sang it together a cappella. It was fun. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, and then finally, I have to ask Vinny, your favorite. 2 question, but you get the 2-prong question. Favorite Paul Stanley song and favorite part of the aforementioned stage banter.
Let's see. I would say my favorite Paul Stanley song, where he sings lead, is "I Was Made for Loving You, Baby." That one, and the crowd loves that song. That's a total dancing song. Everybody starts moving, no matter what age they are. It's just a total dancing song. And just to piggyback on what Jason Lee was saying, these songs are structured. They're just really great songs. They're the way they're structured, the way that they fit with these 4 instruments. It's just perfect, and it's hard. and family friendly. It's good stuff, really good stuff. That's why I think it's lived this long and continue living, past us. And what was the second question?
Well, is it is it something like the rock and roll pneumonia and you got to call out the doctor? Which favorite part of the banter?
Let's see.
What's your favorite intro?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. We got the Dr. Love intro. Yeah.
You got to call out the doctor. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks to the guys. Well, go ahead. I had the mic away. You got to say it again.
Let's call out Dr. Love.
Thank you, Vinny, Jason, Phil, and Dave for talking. And as we said before, kissedalive.com. You'll find out all the dates, and you can get in touch with the guys. And you have personal social media through that, so that people can find you all. Thanks so much, and thanks for taking some time.
Even Paul and Gene could find us.
Hey, you never know. They might need you.
Hey, be careful. Doc is on our Facebook and our Twitter. So
is he? Okay, all right.
Yeah, and that's the one you got to be worried about because he's their boss, man. We love you, Doc.
Doc's keeping an eye on everything.
Yes, as you should.
All right. Well, thanks again, and thanks for taking the time. And our friends at Comic-Con Revolution here in Ontario, California. Thanks so much.
Join the revolution.
Woo!